Tonight, breaking news from Milwaukee, the surprise ad to the Republican convention here. Who will speak tonight in support of Donald Trump? Also, the new video of a phone call between Donald Trump and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Trump asking Kennedy for his support. Trump appearing to agree with Kennedy on childhood vaccines. Also here in Milwaukee, the man shot and killed by an officer not far from the convention site. And in the east tonight, New York City, Philadelphia, we're tracking severe storms and life-threatening heat. First tonight, the video and audio of that phone call between former President Trump and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Trump describing the assassination attempt, asking Kennedy for his endorsement, and appearing to agree with RFK Jr. on vaccines. Trump's VP pick, J.D. Vance, here in the hall, a walkthrough before his big speech. And Nikki Haley on that stage, too, after once calling Trump unelectable. What she'll say tonight. Meantime, tonight, what about President Biden? Where do things stand with the nomination? After pressure to get out of the race, the president firing back in a new interview over continued questions about his fitness for office and that debate performance. Biden now asking, where are the fact checks of the repeated lies Trump told during that debate? Tonight, the president in Las Vegas, and after Nancy Pelosi's comments, George Clooney's words, and now Congressman Adam Schiff, is Biden now determined to be the nominee? The scare not far from the convention site here, a man taken down by police, what we've learned. The new turn involving security surrounding Donald Trump tonight. ABC News has learned the Secret Service had already increased protection for Trump before that Pennsylvania rally. Because of intelligence, Iran wants to assassinate Trump. So the question now, how was that young gunman able to get on that roof with increased security over concerns involving Iran? The other breaking headline tonight, New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez found guilty of corruption. The severe storm watches, Washington, D.C. to Philadelphia, New York City, what we're watching. A record day on Wall Street, the Dow reaching a new all-time high. Also tonight, the loud boom heard over New York City. They have now revealed an eye-opening possible cause. And flocking to a famous Las Vegas casino. They now have to give away $1.6 million in cash and prizes before they close.
From ABC News, this is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir, reporting tonight from Milwaukee.
Good evening tonight from Milwaukee, the Republican National Convention, and there are several major headlines on this day 2 of the convention. Tonight we have learned that Nikki Haley will speak here tonight in prime time, a surprise edition after their heated primary contest. She had said Trump cannot win, but she will be here tonight. Also this evening, the new video emerging of former President Trump's call to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Trump asking Kennedy for his endorsement, saying it would be good for you, and Trump appearing to agree with Kennedy on childhood vaccines. You'll hear what he said. The lasting images, meantime, of the convention's first night, Trump's arrival, his first public appearance since he survived that assassination attempt, a bandage right there on his right ear. Joining his pick for running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, their first appearance together. That surprise add to the speakers list tonight, Nikki Haley at the podium today ahead of her remarks tonight. And the video and audio tonight of Trump's call to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., appearing to agree with Kennedy's stance on childhood vaccines. It was Kennedy's own son who posted the video of the call on social media. Donald Trump is expected to be here tonight. And what about President Biden? The new interview, his anger over continued questions over mental fitness and that debate performance, asking where are the fact checks of Donald Trump's lies on that debate stage? Will Biden be the nominee? What we know tonight. Another consequential night ahead, and ABC's Rachel Scott leading us off from the convention floor tonight.
Tonight, another sign Donald Trump tore up the script for this convention after dodging an assassin's bullet. The theme here in Milwaukee, unity. And tonight, shortly after Trump arrived, a surprise addition to the schedule, his former primary rival, Nikki Haley. Haley once unsparing in her criticism.
The same politicians who now publicly embrace Trump privately dread him. They know what a disaster he's been and will continue to be for our party.
But Haley has since endorsed Trump and tonight addressed the convention.
I'll start by making one thing perfectly clear. Donald Trump has my strong endorsement, period.
As Trump works to build support, this week, he also reached out to independent candidate Robert Kennedy Jr., asking for his endorsement. A member of Kennedy's team recording video of the call, and then Kennedy's son posting it on social media.
I would love you to do so, and I think it'll be so good for you and so big for you, and we're going to win.
Trump playing into Kennedy's embrace of misinformation about vaccines by repeating inaccurate and debunked information himself.
When you feed a baby, Bobby, a vaccination that has like 38 different vaccines, and it looks like it's meant for a horse, not a 10-pound or 20-pound baby. It looks like you should be giving a horse this. And do you ever see the size of it, right? It's this massive. And then you see the baby all of a sudden starting to change radically.
This is not accurate. Babies are not given vaccines in doses equivalent to horses. Pediatric vaccines are the product of high-quality studies after decades of research. They have saved countless lives and do not cause babies to start changing radically. The video was taken down, and today Kennedy releasing this statement. I am mortified that this was posted. I apologize to the president. In Milwaukee, the first glimpse of this year's Republican ticket, Trump and his new running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance. Today, Vance checking out the podium, preparing for his own big speech. With a hug from his biggest booster, Trump's son, Don Jr. On Fox News, Vance describing what Trump told him when he got the call.
You can help me govern, you can help me win, you can help me in some of these Midwestern states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, and so forth.
That Donald Trump's pick for VP, Senator J.D. Vance, has in fact spoken now with Vice President Kamala Harris after she reached out to him when the news broke yesterday.
Yes, David, it's Senator J.D. Vance returning that call. I'm told by sources this call was brief and respectful. Vice President Kamala Harris extending a congratulations to Senator J.D. Vance for being selected as Donald Trump's running mate and also officially welcome him into this race. Sources also say both of them made it clear they look forward to meeting on the debate stage sometime soon, David.
A debate in their future for sure. Rachel Scott tonight. Rachel, thank you. Our coverage of the major developments here on day 2 of the Republican National Convention coming up tonight in prime time. We begin at 9 p.m. Eastern on our digital channel, ABC News Live, and then, of course, again, 10 p.m. Eastern right here on the network again tonight. I hope you join me, the entire Powerhouse political team, 10 p.m. Eastern right here on ABC. Of course, in the meantime, where do things stand with the nomination of President Biden? After pressure to get out of the race from some Democratic leaders, the president firing back in a new interview over continued questions about fitness for office and that debate performance. Biden now asking, where are the fact checks of the repeated lies that Trump told during that debate? Well, tonight the president is in Las Vegas, and after Nancy Pelosi's comments that she awaits the president's decision, George Clooney's words, and now Congressman Adam Schiff's warning, is Biden determined to be the nominee? Here's our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, tonight.
Tonight, President Biden back on the campaign trail in battleground Nevada.
My name's Joe Biden, and I'm a lifetime member of the NAACP. And I am all in.
The president with a slew of events and interviews upping his outreach to Black and Latino voters as polls show Donald Trump making inroads with these critical constituencies. Tonight, Biden going after Trump directly.
Here's what he thinks of black jobs. I love his phrase, black jobs. It tells a lot about the man and about his character. Folks, I know what a black job is. It's the Vice President of the United States.
Overnight, Biden dismissing repeated questions about his age and his debate performance, asking where is the scrutiny on Trump's lies on that debate stage.
Look, why don't you guys ever talk about the 28 lies he told? Where are you on this? Why didn't the press ever talk about that? 28 times it's confirmed he lied in that debate.
After a pause in politics following the attack on Trump, the Biden campaign is plowing ahead. But so is the debate over the president's political future. Tonight, we are learning some Democrats are uneasy with the party's plan to formally nominate Biden in a virtual roll call in the coming days, weeks ahead of the convention in Chicago next month. In a letter obtained by ABC News, some House Democrats calling for a delay, arguing that holding the nominating vote this early would be stifling debate and prematurely shutting down any possible change in the Democratic ticket, calling it a terrible idea that could deeply undermine the morale and unity of Democrats at the worst possible time. Even some of the president's allies still aren't convinced about his candidacy, worried that if he stays at the top of the ticket, Democrats could risk losing the House and Senate too. In audio obtained by ABC News, California Congressman Adam Schiff privately warning donors over the weekend.
I do not think he is the best person to go into this election. I think if he is our nominee, I think we lose.
So let's bring in Mary Bruce. She's live in Las Vegas tonight. Mary, the Democratic National Committee, the DNC, begins meeting this Friday, right after this convention behind me here. Then the slow march to nominate President Biden begins with some 4,000 delegates, the virtual roll call next week. So we've heard what Nancy Pelosi has said, Mary, that she awaits President Biden's decision. We saw what key donor George Clooney has said. Now Congressman Adam Schiff's warning about Biden atop the ticket. But what would stop President Biden at this point? Is he determined to be the nominee?
He is. And David, this is ultimately up to the delegates, but we have seen very little appetite from them to abandon the president. There are no signs of a major floor fight to come at the convention. So right now, whether Joe Biden is the nominee is really up to him. David?
Mary Bruce with us tonight and with us for this convention all week. Thank you, Mary. Meantime, here in Milwaukee, the scare not far from the convention site right here. A man was shot and killed by police. Matt Gutman here in Milwaukee tonight.
Tonight, that massive law enforcement response after an officer shot and killed a civilian just a mile outside the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee.
I saw a lot of police activity, and then I just heard the bullets ring off. As I turned the corner, the bullets would start ringing.
Officials telling ABC News an out-of-town bicycle officer, part of the massive security envelope around the convention, encountered two men fighting. One pulled out a knife. The officer shot him. You can see officers here are still setting up the perimeter. And if you follow me down here, you can see the mass of police officers, including tactical teams, just on the other side. There are hundreds of officers here, a massive deployment. We're just about a mile away from the convention center. The incident locking down a summer camp, dozens of children led away to buses, and community members outraged.
Y'all came and shot him down right here with his own people? Someone from a whole nother state to come and do this to someone here? That makes no sense. Now you got somebody who's dead because somebody from out of town have killed them.
David, this is already a city on edge. Milwaukee has thousands of people here for the convention. Security has been incredibly tight. I want you to look over there. You can see teams of snipers up on the rooftop. There are drones in the air, helicopters as well. And here on the ground, we've seen thousands of officers on foot patrols and on bicycles. David.
We've seen it every day on our walk to the convention center. Matt Gutman tonight. Matt, thank you. We turn now to that new turn this evening involving security surrounding Donald Trump. ABC News has learned that the Secret Service had already increased protection for Trump before that Pennsylvania rally because of intelligence that Iran wants to assassinate Trump. So, of course, the question now, how was that young gunman able to get on that roof, even with increased security amid concerns over Iran? Here's Pierre Thomas tonight.
Tonight, officials confirming they had intelligence of threats from Iran to assassinate former President Trump well before the shooting at Saturday's rally. In response, the Secret Service in recent weeks surging resources to bolster his security detail. But even that could not prevent the attempt on Trump's life in Butler, Pennsylvania. The White House saying Iran for some time has wanted revenge for Trump ordering the strike that killed military commander Qasem Soleimani in 2020. But officials stress there's no evidence linking Iran to the shooter at Trump's rally. But the major question tonight, if they surged security because of Iran, how did that man get on the rooftop? And meanwhile, in that Pennsylvania investigation tonight, sources telling ABC News that before the shooting, Secret Service agents could hear radio dispatches from local police about a suspicious man. Shortly after, Secret Service agents heard more radio traffic, saying local police had confronted the suspect they were looking for. Then, shots fired. He's got a gun! In our exclusive interview, the head of the Secret Service, Kim Cheadle, saying local officers were stationed inside the same building where Trump's would-be assassin climbed up to the roof and opened fire.
There was local police in that building. There was local police in the area that were responsible for the outer perimeter of the building. I'm being told that the shooter was actually identified as a potential person of suspicion. And so the local police department actually put a call out.
We also pressed the Secret Service on why agents weren't posted on that roof.
Should that roof have been secure, period?
That building in particular has a sloped roof at its highest point. And so, there's a safety factor that would be considered there, that we wouldn't want to put somebody up on a sloped roof. And so, the decision was made to secure the building from inside.
Back to those threats from Iran, the service added more security. But if these agencies don't communicate properly, and if they're not in complete sync, things can go horribly wrong, David.
Pierre Thomas, your interview with the Secret Service director, making news over these last couple of nights. Pierre, thank you. We turn next here tonight to the other major political headline. New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez convicted on all counts in his federal corruption trial. Tonight, new calls for him to resign. Here's Aaron Katersky.
Tonight, New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez convicted of corruption charges by a jury in Manhattan federal court. And now the calls to resign from leaders in his own party. The jury deliberating 13 hours over 3 days to find the powerful Democrat guilty of all 16 counts he faced, including bribery, extortion, and being a public official acting as a foreign agent. While serving as the influential chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Menendez did favors for Egypt and Qatar and assisted several New Jersey businessmen in exchange for lavish gifts. The FBI raiding his house, discovering gold bars and envelope after envelope of cash, wads of it totaling nearly $500,000, stuffed in a safe, his jackets, even his shoes. Prosecutors called it corruption on a massive scale by a senator who sold the power of his office.
This wasn't politics as usual. This was politics for profit.
Immediately after the verdict, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer called on Menendez to resign, saying it's right for his constituents, the Senate, and our country. Menendez, who did not testify during the 2-month trial, coming to the cameras outside the courthouse, defiant.
I have never been anything but a patriot of my country and for my country. I have never, ever been a foreign agent.
Menendez faces decades in prison when he's sentenced in October, David.
Aaron Katersky with us again tonight. Thank you, Aaron. To the economy tonight, investors pushing the markets to new highs yet again today. The Dow gaining 742 points. To close at 40,954. Its 21st record high this year. Good news on inflation easing, getting the ball rolling here. Then Fed Chairman Jerome Powell strongly signaling a long-awaited interest rate cut could come in September. When we come back here tonight, the severe storm watches. New York City, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. Ginger Z standing by with a new forecast. And the race tonight to give away $1.6 million in cash and prizes in Vegas. Tonight in the east, a severe thunderstorm watch. New York City in its third heat wave now this summer. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z tracking it all again tonight. Hi, Ginger.
Hi, David. We have a severe thunderstorm warning right now for Staten Island, one west of Philadelphia, and many of them up to New Hampshire and western Massachusetts. So the map is full. It's going to be a rowdy night. Some of these will produce gusts upwards of 70+ miles per hour, and you could also have isolated tornadoes, as we've already seen in Rome, New York earlier tonight. Wanted to show you, though, this is not the only severe weather. Tomorrow, it looks like the same area from New Hampshire and western Mass, Connecticut, back down to Richmond, Virginia, including Delaware, Philadelphia, and New York City. Also, that's the real front that's going to break this heat. So we've had some of the hottest temps we've seen in 12 years in a place like Washington, D.C., but watch it go back into the 80s. And something we haven't seen in a long time, David, a cooler than normal next week for the plains.
Yeah, the 80s will feel real nice after this, Ginger. Thank you. When we come back here, the loud boom over New York City and the surprising theory tonight, and why so many are racing to get their hands on $1.6 million in cash being given away in Las Vegas tonight. To the index, a boom heard over New York City today, and tonight NASA believes it was a meteor, perhaps flying over the Statue of Liberty. Authorities receiving calls from Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, and New Jersey. They'll continue to look into it. When we come back here, the casino racing to give away $1.6 million tonight. Finally, leaving Las Vegas. Tonight, the dash for cash in Las Vegas, the scramble to give away $1.6 million at the Mirage Hotel and Casino. People are flocking to the casino before it closes after more than 3 decades on the Vegas Strip. The Mirage now closing tomorrow. But before they do, Nevada state law requires that they must hand out the big cash prizes in their unclaimed jackpots from slot machines and games.
Always entertaining, always something to see.
The Mirage opened in 1989, 3,000 rooms, a 40-foot volcano attraction, and for decades the home of Siegfried and Roy and their White Tigers. But now the Mirage is closing to make way for a brand new Hard Rock Hotel opening in 2027. Tonight, the closeout signs as so many now hope for a little luck, getting one last glimpse of the iconic hotel before it becomes part of Las Vegas history. We'll see you at 10 p.m. Eastern here on ABC. Donald Trump, Nikki Haley. We'll see you at 10. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.